Today we're going to be doing this hyper-realistic KitKat bar in Polychromos color pencils with an underbase of Ohuhu marker. It's important to have an accurate sketch down and mark in where your shadows and your highlights are going to be. I've done this in Polychromos colored pencils. I've mapped in with my lightest Ohuhu marker, number 12 and number 141, to get a good base layer going down so that we can start to put our color pencil on top and start building up our tones. It's really important with your marker base that you're using the lightest colors to start with and then gradually build up and get darker as you go. The reason for this is you can't lighten up the marker, and you can always go darker, but you can't go lighter. You want to make sure that you get your wording down really accurately, and this will just accentuate the hyper-realistic look of the whole finished piece. If your words are a little wonky, your drawing is not going to be as believable in the end. So you want to take your time when you're doing that lettering. The beauty of using a marker under base is that it speeds up your color pencil drawing dramatically, and it also glides the pencil right over top of it beautifully, and you are not ruining the tooth of the paper at all, so you'll be able to put a ton of layers of detail on top of that marker base. As with all my drawings, I've swatched out all of my colors ahead of time on a piece of paper that I have next to me, and I put the numbers next to it. And this way I know exactly what I'm reaching for when I'm looking for a specific tone or color, and this makes it easier to just get on with the drawing. I've also pre-sharpened all of my pencils before I get started, and this helps control the pressure so that I'm not pushing too hard on the paper. The marker base also helps with this. If you're finding you're pressing too hard on the pencil, hold the pencil back on the barrel a little bit, and this will help you control the pressure so you're not scarring or ruining the tooth of the paper. We're going to put many layers down, and you want to be able to put all that detail on top of one another, and you don't want to ruin that tooth before you even get going. I'm using a white acrylic marker to pop my highlights, and then we're going to glaze over some of those highlights so they're not glaring white. We're going to glaze over them with the Polychromos colored pencils, and this just helps give us a little bit of a map of where we're going, so we don't get lost and we're not covering up too much of those highlights. I'm going in now with some graphite, and I'm using a makeup sponge, and I'm just smudging that in. Normally you see people use an airbrush. I do not own an airbrush, so I am using the graphite as my shadow so that you get a nice soft shadow effect. After you smudge in that graphite, you use a kneaded eraser to clean it up and to pick some of that out and get it exactly the way that you want it. This is a blow up of how I did the ingredients list on the package. I'm using a small ruler, and I'm going in, I'm using dots and dashes. I'm not actually writing the words in. We're giving the illusion that that information is there. I'll list all of the colors that I used in the Polychromos pencils and the Ohuhu markers in the description box below, so you can check that out if you want to try to do this drawing and draw along with me. If you're enjoying today's tutorial, I'd love it if you'd leave me a comment in the comment box below. I do get back to each and every one of you, and I love hearing from you guys. It would be great if you guys would also smash that like button and consider subscribing to my channel. I put out new tutorials every Thursday, and you don't want to miss out on any new content. At this stage in the drawing, you want to check back with your reference image and make sure that you have popped all of your highlights, your deep dark shadows are dark enough, and all your midtones are there. You want to use your full range of values. So you want to make any necessary adjustments at this point, and then just keep going. This drawing took me an hour and 39 minutes from my sketch to my finished product. Now I know I work a little faster than most people, but that marker base really does speed up your drawing time by quite a lot. If you were doing this just in color pencil, you can pretty much double that time probably just in trying to get everything blended out and getting enough color on the page. I want to thank you guys so much for joining me, and happy art!